Hello, my name is Sarah Rosell, and I am your son or daughter's AP Chemistry teacher at Rochester High School. I've been teaching at Rochester since 2008. I am married to my husband, Jason, and we have two children. Addison is in middle school, and Everett's still in elementary school. We have our little pup, Watson, and we both graduated from Michigan State. I also went to Michigan State for my master's in curriculum as well. So a little bit about our AP Chemistry class. We will definitely be following what's called the CED for AP Chemistry. It's the course and exam description. The course and exam description is just kind of a layout of the standards that we will cover in the course. There are 9 units to AP Chemistry, which are listed up on the screen here, that are tested in May. So we go mainly in order of the CED. If you just wanted to know more about the CED, you can Google AP Chemistry CED. It's public information. It was implemented in the fall of 2019. Just some information about our AP class and getting enrolled. It is really important that students enroll in our AP classroom online. At that point, they then have to determine if they are going to be taking the test or not in order for a test to be ordered for them. Registration for AP test starts basically now, the middle of September, and goes until the end of October. Payments for AP tests will be made via the LEO system through Rochester Community Schools, and students must be able to provide proof of payment to the counseling office to make sure that they get a test ordered for them. It is really important that students determine if they're taking the exam, and I will check in with them as well to make sure. But if they enroll in AP Classroom, they do not select that they want to take the exam, it will remain as what we call undecided, and no exam will be ordered for them. So we want to make sure that we have an exam for them if they choose to take the exam in May. Our exam takes place in the first 2 weeks of May, just like every other AP test. What can you do to help your students? So there's a lot of things going on. Our class goes fast, and your students are always really, really busy with all sorts of things, academic, jobs, sports. They have a lot going on. So what can you do to help your student? I would say most importantly, help them to learn to advocate for their education and their achievements, making sure that they're communicating with me about anything that they might need from me, any help or anything that I can provide within our classroom walls or even beyond our classroom walls. We really talk a lot about learning from our mistakes. We do a lot of low stakes practice in class. So that way, if we make mistakes, they don't really impact us. And we make sure that we can learn from them to do better the next time. Students often see these things as failures, especially if that mistake comes up on a assessment or a graded assignment, but it's really important that they do learn from their mistakes. And to help them kind of learn this a little bit more, I will encourage them to complete test and quiz corrections on any multiple choice test to earn some credit back. This really helps them learn from things that they did wrong, and also tends to help them in the grade department as well. It's really important that students focus not only on their grade, but also the information that they are learning. Even if they end up not taking the AP test, or even if they end up not being as successful as they had hoped in our class, the learning and the activities and the lessons that they have throughout the course will really help them improve and do better in the future, whatever comes for them. They should make good use of Google Classroom to guide you and them into asking specific questions about what we're doing in class. So you can have them log into their Google Classroom and you can see what we're doing in class, but it's really important that you can engage in discussions with them. This is the best way for students to learn, is if they are able to engage in discussions, they can figure out where they still have misunderstandings, and they can also figure out what questions they might need to ask me to support them. So different things that they can do. It's really important that they participate. Taking risks in this class is constant because it is so challenging, and it's really important that they understand it's totally okay to be wrong. I always tell them, if they already knew everything, they wouldn't need to be in the class. So it's really okay to be wrong. That's how we learn and we grow and do better. In this class especially, it's important that they have a team to work with. They do sit at table groups, and they did pick their first set of table groups. So hopefully they have at least that team to work with, but also just anybody within the class is a great team to work with, and they should be communicating with them, asking each other questions, and helping each other both in and out of the classroom. We do a lot of group work, and I very much encourage them to work together as a team. Complete all assignments and utilize practice opportunities. We have a lot going on. There are assignments that are required and some that are optional. And I do encourage them to complete as many assignments as they possibly can, because the more practice they have, the more successful they're going to be. It is important that they use a planner or some sort of planning tool, because we often have 2 or 3 things going on at a time. And so it's hard to keep track of if you're not using some sort of planning tool. Making sure they ask questions when they come up. So making sure that if something comes up with an assignment or something comes up with our warm-up questions, ask that right away, not just at test time, so they're not cramming. They need to use a binder to help stay organized. We don't really have a textbook that we use regularly. There is one available for a reference, but there's not one that we go chapter by chapter. And so I always tell them that we're kind of building our textbook as we go. And so it's really important that they have a binder to help them stay organized with all those papers. Reviewing nightly. They should have an assignment almost every single night, something to work on for AP Chemistry, which will help them review. But if they don't have a set assignment, it's going to be important that they do review the material that we've been working on to make sure that they stay up with everything that's going on. If they feel like they are falling behind, or if there's any problem, it's going to be vital for them to schedule a time to meet with me, whether that's before or after school, during lunch, just quick and passing time. But it's really important that they communicate with me so we can get any issues solved as soon as possible. And we don't want to let them wait for a really long time so they become too big of a problem. And obviously you can use parent view, they can use student view to keep up with their progress in the class. If you have any questions for me, feel free to email me. That is the best way for your to reach me. And I really just want to thank you for allowing me to be with your teenagers this year. It is a great group and I love teaching the class. And so I'm really looking forward to a great year. Have a great day.